Becky Cloonan, Michael W. Conrad, L.L. McKinney, Jen Bartel, and Aletha Martinez joined forces to explore more of the Wonder Woman inhabiting Future State and offer up some fantastic and visually appealing stories from the not too distant future and the end of time. Becky Cloonan and Michael W. Conrad again get together to tell an absolutely fantastic quote-unquote final Wonder Woman story set at the end of the entire universe. I really enjoyed that this story helped build on and reinforce the idea that Wonder Woman is the heart of the heroes. She is the one who continues to give and look for hope even when the world is literally coming to an end. Her conversation with the Spirit Batman was just wonderful and both heartwarming and heartbreaking at the same time. I like the idea that she was collecting all of these artifacts from her friends like Green Lantern's ring, and in this issue Batman's utility belt, not to use in battle, but to have as keepsakes and mementos for her fallen friends. Darkseid as a final villain also makes a lot of sense to me, specifically since the end of the world is coming because of the anti-life equation, but also because he stands opposite for what everything Diana stands for, so getting to see them battle it out as the world ends around them should be a lot of fun. L.L. McKinney's Nubia story was also quite wonderful, resetting the character up as one of the Wonder Women who is around during Future State, and kind of the one who has a little bit more claim to the name given her and Diana's history and the fact that she has the lasso now and is more or less the actual sponsored Wonder Woman of Themyscira. I loved how McKinney worked quickly to establish how Nubia is different from Diana and Yara, giving her more street level yet still fantastical threats to deal with, as well as her connection to African mythology as opposed to Amazonian or Greek mythology. In this case, this issue features Anansi the Trickster, who is wonderfully rendered here as Aunt Nancy. Grail also being cast as a Nubia villain is really quite fantastic and again adds to that connection to Wonder Woman. And finally, someone remembered she actually existed, so hopefully they can make her stick as a threat this time round. Jen Bartel's art is some of the most well-drawn and beautifully rendered work I have ever seen in a comic. Her designs for everything were just amazing, the best thing being her older Wonder Woman. Who knew that just adding a little bit of grey to Wonder Woman's hair completely changes the character's look and makes her look just 10 times better somehow. Her colours as well are just so vibrant and complementary to the story of Diana being this last hope in the world, and along with Becky Cloonan and Michael Conrad's story, it all just comes together in this wonderfully drawn issue. Aletha Martinez's Nubia work was wonderful as well, and I love the costume she designed for the hero here, making it a mixture of Diana's as well as various costumes Nubia has worn throughout the years, be it her Amazonian garb or her actual Wonder Woman costume she had on Earth 23. I loved Aletha's page that contains the visions so much as well, and she got really creative with the paneling here, making it all like kind of flow like water and energy, and it was really quite pleasing to read and had a good flow to the dialogue. Future State Immortal Wonder Woman issue 1 was a fantastic issue containing some really wonderful stories of two other Wonder Women of Future State, doing a fantastic job differentiating between all of them and giving them all something unique to work with. I'm going to give this issue a 9.5 out of 10. 9.5. Future State Immortal Wonder Woman issue 1 heads to the distant future where Wonder Woman descends into the now ancient Batcave, knowing while it's a tomb, not much has changed since it was always a sanctuary defined by pain, and Bruce built a temple of his grief down there, but now even bats are gone from it. Removing some of the rubble, Diana uncovers the Batsuit, apologizing it took so long for her to get there as the ghost of Batman knows he has no regrets, and his story ended exactly how he knew it would. Diana isn't surprised since Bruce was always several moves ahead of them, but Bruce says he wasn't this time. He just accepted the role he had to play in a game, knowing that he was more of a structural component than a player, and even he questioned if he was complicit in what happened. Diana knows that he loved Gotham, and the ghost knows he never gave up, not believing in lost causes, and they are instruments of change, so there is still time and she is critical to the future. However, Diana doesn't think there is a future anymore. Batman knows that if there is even a single drop of goodness left in this world, it's worth fighting for, and Wonder Woman has always been their heart, since that's what's most wonderful about her. Taking Batman's utility belt, Diana leaves, remembering Bruce's word that she gives them something worth living for and a reason to look to the stars and dream. Wonder Woman takes off into the sky, not wanting to dwell on the past and instead look to their grey future. She knows that they are guided by stars, but the golden days of memories of gods is faded like many dreams upon waking. Knowing her sisters fail to recognize this place is a nightmare and cannot be saved. Diana continues to watch the stars in the now night sky, seeing one burn brighter for a moment before blinking out. She knows what it means, wanting to warn the others. On Apocalypse, Barda tells Darkseid that New Genesis has been destroyed, and yet the god does nothing. Darkseid says the fate of New Genesis is no concern of his as Orion arrives, knowing now is not the time for posturing, since the undoing is upon Apocalypse and they must fight if they are to survive. Again, Apocalypse waves off the looming doom as nothing, but soon the undoing arrives, leaving Barda and Orion to fight alone. Darkseid refuses to fight, and so the heroes are taken by the Undoing as Darkseid makes his escape into space. Darkseid surveys the Undoing eating Apocalypse, knowing this is the anti-life equation undoing all of reality itself. Diana meanwhile returns to Themyscira and the elderly Swamp Thing, who knows that she has Batman's belt. Diana says that she wanted to keep Bruce with her before they leave, reassuring Swamp Thing that they will be going soon. Alec, however, says that he is dying and he won't last much longer, but Diana wants him to promise that he will hold out, so the being does as Diana takes off again. Darkseid meanwhile rockets towards Earth, knowing only the strongest would have survived on the husk of a world now, and he now feels like a young god once more. On Themyscira, Wonder Woman confronts the so-called Council of War, unhappy they wish to fight when they should be planning an exodus. The council knows that something evil draws close and they need to fight one last time. Diana says they went to great lengths to bring what was left of Swamp Thing and the Green to the island, but it's still dying, so a new world is their only hope for it to survive. The council want to know what world she talks about since they have to choose to fight, as is their way and a way Diana taught them. Diana says that she is trying to save what is left now, and staying on Earth means everything ends. The council won't budge, knowing that staying on Earth and dying means they die with honor. Diana continues to try and reason with her sisters, telling them that they cannot stay on the planet since its core is now terminal and the whole world will explode. But still, the Amazonians refuse, saying they do this for Themyscira. As worlds across the multiverse are eaten by the darkness, Diana wonders if her sisters are right, and maybe being among the mortals for too long has made her sentimental, and now she doesn't know what they are even fighting for. Elsewhere, Darkseid rockets towards Earth, wondering what remains of Earth as over the horizon comes Superman to confront the god one last time. Above Themyscira, a meteor falls onto the island as the council ask if Wonder Woman will join them one last time, and despite her reservations, Diana says she always will be beside her sisters. Wonder Woman rallies what is left of the Amazonian race, telling them that they have waited for Earth to return to the days of old, but that dream is now gone and they must face a world destroyer. She tells them that if the Green dies, hope dies with it, so they must protect Swamp Thing at all costs. The meteor impacts on the island as Darkseid has defeated Superman, unimpressed with what remains of Earth. Before he can kill Clark, Wonder Woman stops him, pulling him away with her lasso and defending the fallen friend, telling Clark that she's got this. Darkseid, however, grabs Diana's fist, finding her strength nothing to him, knowing it's no wonder the world fell to the ruin at the hands of the mortals. He smashes Wonder Woman into the Swamp Thing tree as the council tries to take down Darkseid, doing literally nothing against the god as he obliterates them with his Omega beams, killing them all. Superman calls him a monster as he crawls towards the villain, who welcomes him to try and take him down again. Swamp Thing meanwhile tries to wake Diana, saying he doesn't want to die alone. He gives his final gift to Wonder Woman, who is sorry that she failed him, but Swamp Thing uses his last words to tell her to keep living. As Superman is picked up by Darkseid, Wonder Woman tells the dead Swamp Thing his death will not be in vain, and that is a promise. In the past, Grail robs the Michael C. Carlos Museum in Atlanta, forcing a guard to let her in as she retrieves a fractured piece of an artifact, knowing that she will part ways with the woman's head now. The guard said that she promised to spare her, but as Grail swings her tomahawk for a killing blow, Nubia blocks the attack. Grail thought that Nubia's kind had abandoned man's world, but Nubia says that she is there to make sure people like Grail couldn't take advantage of the situation. Nubia throws Grail around the museum, demanding that she return what she stole. She reveals the lasso of truth, making Grail realize the rumors of Diana stepping down as Wonder Woman are true. She asks how Queen Diana's attempts at picking up the broken pieces are faring, but Nubia says that her and Diana aren't really talking, and she is Wonder Woman now. Grail gloats over the two women not speaking, but Nubia says that the Amazonians' troubled past isn't her problem, and it's not hers either, and that just because that they share similar pasts doesn't mean that they are the same. Grail tells her not to pretend otherwise as the women battle across the room. Nubia tries to grab the artifact Grail took but receives a knee to the face for her troubles. Grail, however, drops the piece between them, forcing both women to die for it, but Nubia grabs it and she is suddenly overcome with visions of death and a strange ritual in a temple she has never been in. Grail meanwhile readies to kill Wonder Woman, but the artifact blasts her back, with the woman noticing the aura around Nubia is protecting her, making her realize that her desires will need to wait. Collecting the artifact from the ground, Grail makes her escape, leaving Nubia to awaken sometime later, using her lasso to remember what happened in the vision. She knows who can help her decipher this vision, heading to the Ebony Web, greeting Maurice the Minotaur bouncer, who lets her into the club. Heading through the fantastical club, Nubia goes to see the owner, Aunt Nancy, who knows the last time they met Nubia, she was rather upset with her. Nubia knows that family often argue from time to time, telling Nancy about the thefts from the temples and museums, with artifacts from random goddesses being taken, but Nubia knows that Nancy couldn't possibly know about that. Nancy is well aware of what's happening, but she wants a moment with her favourite niece before getting to business. The two talk and Nancy says that she's bored out of her mind at the club, and while running the club helps sometimes, today has been slow, so she wants to hear about one of Nubia's Themysciran tales, since the scent of its magic is faint on her. Nubia says that she hasn't been home for some time after having taken up charge of Wonder Woman on her own volition. Nancy leaves it alone as Nubia gets back to business, telling Nancy about stopping Grail from stealing something she referenced to as Kali's Wrath. But she failed, and upon touching the artifact, she saw visions of battles and temples and rituals, which Nancy was in. Nubia asks if she had anything to do with these thefts, but Nancy knows she doesn't. At least she doesn't think she does. Nubia is curious to what she means, so Nancy agrees to show her, but it will come at a price, saying that she will need a favor from Wonder Woman in the future. Nubia reluctantly accepts the offer, taking Nancy's hand, and is taken into a vision, which shows gods warring with other gods. Nancy and others like her look to quell the gods fighting, since destruction of the world was bad for business at the time. Nancy explains that they cast an incantation in hopes to free their kin from their anger and rage and war, but thanks to the literal nature of magic back then, the spell manifested into a master key, meant to open minds to more peaceful prospects, but soon the key opened a lot more in the minds of gods, things like mystical doors and hidden portals between planes of existence, where ancient evil slept, yearning to be let into their reality. Nubia wonders why they didn't break the spell, learning that they tried, but it proved harder to undo in their weakened state, so all the women could do was shatter the key's essence and put it into different vessels. Nancy knows that their plan worked, until Immortal started digging where they shouldn't be and unearthed many of them. They are pulled out of the Farsight vision, and Nancy had hoped that these were just rumors, as Nubia finds herself in a daze after the vision. Nancy tells her to stop whining and to take some oxycodone and alcohol that will help. Nubia tells her that she has to stop Grail, since whatever she wants to do with the key can't be good, but learns that there are 9 artifacts with the essence of the key inside, and 8 were stolen, meaning that there is 1 left and she must find it. Nancy tells her to calm herself, but Nubia can't, especially after learning an ancient evil from alternate realms probably wants to come into their realm. Nancy reassures her that the last artifact is in a safe place, but soon a rumble is heard throughout the club as a portal opens under Nubia, sucking her in and leaving Aunt Nancy to ponder what has happened to Wonder Woman.